Hey guys, thanks for going on this nerd journey with me. If you want your episodes ad-free, go to makemeanerd.com/join and hit that button.
Hooked on you, baby, you're golden. Time moves, I never noticed. Just can't get enough. Got me wonderstruck.
Hello and welcome everybody to Make Me a Nerd. I'm Mandy Kaplan, a mainstream mom whose mission it is to explore all things nerd culture that I've been missing out on and slightly afraid of my whole life. I am welcoming back one of my very, very first guests. We're going in the Wayback Machine. Now, I know you came back to do Buffy, but when I thought of this whole concept, Make Me a Nerd, you were one of the very first people I thought of. This is Kyle Olson. He is the creator and it's not a host, it's a narrative podcast of the Swashbuckling Ladies Debate Society. And he is also one of the co-hosts of Craft and Chaos, also on the True Story FM family of podcasts. Kyle Olson, my buddy, my nerd guru, welcome back.
I'm so happy to be back. So the only way to learn is by playing. The only way to win is by learning. And the only way to begin is by beginning. Which is how Sam Reich starts Game Changer. So that is the Game Changer. That's one of his catchphrases, yeah.
So I remember, because I take notes when someone says, oh, you know what we should do next time? I always put it in my app. So I had this written down for you, but I had no memory of what it was or how I just wrote the two words Game Changer for Kyle. So I came back to you and I said, I miss ya, come back on the podcast. And you said Game Changer.
Yep.
And I want to tell everybody what it is. Or should you tell everybody what it is? Or should I read the wiki?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'll give you just a small introduction of sort of where it came from. So CollegeHumor was a big thing on the internet. If you remember back in the day, they used to do all of sketches and stuff on YouTube and things. And through various machinations and stuff, they were about to be shut down. Like they basically went, hey, you're not making us $100 million a year, so therefore we should just fire everyone.
Yes.
Which seems to be the modern way of doing
Pete has said that to me many times.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. We're right on the cusp.
Right. So close.
So then Sam Reich basically took what was left and sort of gathered together the people that he could and bought the company and changed it from sort of pivoted it from CollegeHumor into Dropout, which you can sort of see the progression of the names and stuff there. And then wanted to make something different than what they had been doing before, but still wanted to keep in that same lane. So then from that came Dropout TV, which is a streaming service all by itself. They don't want to be dependent on Facebook's algorithms or YouTube or any of that or advertising at all. They wanted to move everything to be subscription-based so they could make what they wanted. Because what they want to do is sort of more adult flavored, college, but adult. So they could swear, they could do kind of whatever they wanted to and not have to worry about censors and sponsors and all that. So they moved it onto there and then sort of based everything around improv and performance and, making things up as you go, as opposed to trying to do scripted sitcoms or reality shows or that sort of thing.
So when I asked you what the hell is Game Changer and how do I watch it, you had me go to Dropout. It's an actual streaming service.
Dropout.tv. Yep.
Right. And I did the free trial. But they have tons of content. It's not just Game Changer.
No.
So all of that content, that's their cadre of writers and creators and actors. And then because it's them, I'm assuming, and I don't know if you know,
I do.
But it must feel like the writer's room of Saturday Night Live, where it's hey, I want my sketch on. And ultimately, Lorne gets to say yay or nay. Is Sam Reich the Lorne of
Yes, I would say he would probably take that on the title, but I don't think he's less of an overlord than that. Where it's sort of, I get the idea that Lord is sort of like the arbiter of all thing, and Sam's more like, yeah, sounds great, let's do it. But what you do is that you get the kind of what you dream SNL is before you sort of find out what it's like,
right?
Of that, a bunch of weird creative people getting together and doing that. So that's what's fun about the Dropout shows, is that you get to see the same, I don't know, probably like 30 or 40 performers in different incarnations. So when they show up, it's like, oh, hey, there they are. Like it's when
Right.
someone comes out, because even we don't know who's going to be on an episode of Game Changer before it airs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they walk out, and that's the first time that we go, oh, and like him from this show that we do and that show that we do.
But they're not trying to bring in outsiders. It's not. Do they ever say this week a special guest, Maya Rudolph, or is it?
No, it's pretty much
Dropout?
Yes, it's pretty much them and then their friends. But it's interesting to sort of like the comedy scene in LA is kind of a small town and improv, and so they also, so every once in a while someone will show up that's like of a sort of a high, what do you think of a higher celebrity level, not like superstars, because they're not catering to stars, and they're not trying to get guest stars. They're trying to just, it's the whose line is it anyway sort of thing of it. They're not trying to get that. They're trying to just make cool stuff with their friends. But then sometimes you'll have somebody like Paul F. Tompkins will show up on an episode, or Pete Holmes will show up, or all these people who are just like a little bit above. There's people who can like sell out stadiums or whatever, will come and just do a couple. Ben Schwartz, who is the voice of Sonic, and he was Jean-Ralphio on Parks and Rec, comes and does an episode or two of Make Some Noise or one of these things, and it's just like a fun sort of thing of them just showing up, having a good time, and then leaving.
Who wouldn't want to?
Right, it's a party, and the people just, you come, you have a good time, and then you move on, and also they all get paid.
Right. Well, hashtag I want to
stuff.
Drop out
Right.
if you're available, or if you're looking. I am ready. So the concept of this show, Game Changer, is an American comedy panel game show created and hosted by Sam Reich, which started in 2019. The show follows players, typically 3 comedians, who participate in a new game every episode, with the players kept unaware of the premise and rules of the game beforehand. According to Polygon, the show combines improv comedy, puzzle solving, fierce competition, and a prankster ethos.
Yes.
I mean, that did a
never,
good job.
It's never mean-spirited,
No.
like the pranks thing case, but every once in a while it does feel like Sam is specifically torturing people, which becomes a recurring theme as it goes along, that he even developed sort of a evil twin that will do the stuff that he doesn't want to do. So there does become a recurring thing of like Sam being the puppet master and then rebelling against him and things, which just adds to the sort of running joke mythos of Game Changer.
Right. Well, and this would only work with improv actors. I mean, you have to be a very brave, quick-witted soul to step on a stage with lights and microphones and have no idea what's about to happen to you. Yeah. And they're all game, and they're all funny and quick. Yeah. I'm sure you have your favorites. I don't know if I saw any of them, but if you said there's 30 rotating people, I'm sure you get excited. But this episode was Sam Says.
Yes.
And
we
Sam
with season 4, episode 1, Sam Says.
Yes. And it's basically Simon Says. And he really is trying to fuck with them.
Oh, yes.
In the same way that you do when you have a backyard full of your kids' friends and they're 5. Yeah. And you're like, okay, everybody take a break and get some water. Ha ha, I didn't say Simon Says. And, he's trying to gotcha them. Yeah.
So this sort of is the recurring thing of him and Brennan. So Brennan Lee Mulligan is one of my favorite of all the performers. He's done a ton of stuff, and he is one of sort of the core people behind Dropout. He was one of the ones that Sam brought in very early and said, I like everything you're doing. I want to be involved in whatever creative stuff you want to do. He runs Dimension 20, which is, I'm repping the shirt on right now, which is another thing that we might talk about in a future episode. That's the role-playing side of it. Okay. Which is sort of, I think, probably the thing that they're most famous for is that. And this is sort of the other side of it. I would say Game Changer is probably up close to or right below that in terms of how famous their shows are. So there is a rivalry or an antagonism between the two of them, where Sam is always trying to do stuff specifically to make Brennan mad, because the more angry Brennan gets, the higher the content is. There becomes a whole episode about like, what can we do to make him angry, and then therefore blow up on social media. Yes. Sidebar, I watched people play Dungeons and Dragons for the podcast. Oh, you did? Very nice. What did you watch?
So Justine Huxley, who is a voice actor on Apex Legends, the game, they have started doing live action, like the whole cast or a lot of the cast of Apex Legends. Now they've developed these characters and they play at conventions. They go on stage and play Dungeons and Dragons, which then turned into a YouTube thing called Squad 20. Okay. And,
nice.
I still haven't played it. but I've watched people play it.
Okay. Yeah, actual play. It's a big thing. That's what Dimension 20 is.
That's what I
the
assume.
whole other side of it. Yeah. And so Brandon Lee Mulligan is their main dungeon master. Like he's the guy who runs most of their games.
Right. It's just, it is such a strange, and I don't want to tangent too far, but it's such a strange thing to watch people play rather than play. And I know it does take a little getting used to. Industry of, when Casey was growing up, and it was like, why are you watching people play Minecraft? Play Minecraft, but then again, I like watching people play football.
Yeah,
I also like playing football.
At some point, maybe next time, if when the rotation goes around, I can show you some Dimension 20 stuff, and you can get an idea what it's like, because they've taken sort of what used to be just rolling dice and doing math in a basement, and they've made it performance art. And that's kind of what is exciting to me about actual play, is that you're watching top tier improvers improv in these fantasy settings to do things that you could never do because they would never have the budget to do.
Right.
And it's all in their imagination, which is fun.
Interesting you should bring up budget. That was a great segue because right when this Game Changer started, it is set to look like a 70s game show, like a Family Feud or Match Game. And it's 70s color, and Sam even has one of those long, skinny microphones.
Yeah.
Then he puts it away and doesn't use it.
Yeah.
Which bugs me because I like those. And I'm like, use it if you have it. But my very initial reaction, I'm just being honest. There's no studio audience. Nope. It is so extremely low budget.
Yes.
And it made me a little cringy.
Okay.
I was like, well, what am I getting into here? Is it?
I can tell you that was the first episode they shot right at the end of COVID.
Well, I could tell it was very COVID.
Yeah, it was very COVID because he does the bit where he walks around and he's coughing and stuff too. Yes. Yeah. So if they ever show the crew, they're all in masks. It was a weird time.
Very much so.
But yeah, it is a very small budget. It's that because they're trying to keep their numbers thing. So it is just making themselves and the crew laugh. Yeah. So there's no audience. Which
on the one hand, I fully respect and embrace. And on the other hand, as an actor who has done plays where the people on stage outnumbered the people in the audience. There's a real, what am I getting into? I feel bad for them in a way. No need to, but as an actor with an improv background, I was a little nervous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I see, because it does have that vibe of let's put up a sheet and put on a show.
Right.
But I think when the masks come off, you can hear the crew laughing a lot more, which is fun. Because it's such a small crew, the performers even know who's holding the mic, who's holding the camera, and will sometimes even turn and talk to them. And even the people coming out to deliver things, they know who they are because they all hang out,
right?
So they can greet them by name. So it's not that sort of anonymity. It's more like you're getting to be in the room with them as they're doing something fun and silly.
Yes. And I have to say, because of the level of talent, that feeling went away for me. But it started with, what am I getting into here? Are they all I just want this to succeed. And it felt I was a little hesitant. Then the first thing that made me laugh out loud was Sam says, say something that we'll have to bleep.
Yes.
Now, we all think profanity. Right? I mean, that's just where our mind goes with bleeping.
And that was the first thought of all the contestants as well.
Well, not necessarily. Was it Brennan who started singing Hey Jude?
No, it came around. Lou. So they all swore and then realized, oh, wait, we're not on YouTube anymore. We're on our own streaming and we could use whatever language we want. And that's when he went, wait. Let me try a second time. And that's when he went into singing Hey Jude, which is such a brilliant
It was so brilliant.
Because going back to your budget thing, that was
right.
Of course they couldn't pay for that.
Right. And that's what the difference here is. It's not a bunch of low budget performers. It's a bunch of really creative, talented people with budgetary limitations.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference. So when I saw that and I laughed out loud, I thought, okay, I think I'm in good hands. I can relax now.
Okay. Good. That makes me glad.
Personal question.
Yes.
Did you yawn when Sam yawned and said, don't yawn?
No, I did not. I'm not. seem to be not susceptible to the yawn back and forth thing.
Really?
Yeah, I can get at people to yawn, but it doesn't usually affect me.
It affects me big time. And I think the screen shielded me from catching the yawn.
Yeah.
And then I wrote, but damn it, now I'm yawning. And then I Googled, is yawning contagious? And there's there's all these theories, but there's no science about why it is.
Yeah.
But you don't catch them?
One of my superpowers is the earworm. I can put songs into people's heads.
Go ahead. Oh no, we're not allowed to, right?
You can't kill it. Yeah, we won't be able to clear any of the things anyways. But I do it all the time. I could do it because there's a particular way of doing it where if you just say the lyrics, then your brain will start going, oh, that's a song, and then it'll start playing that song, and like a couple minutes later, you'll be like,
right. Camtown Races. That's safe.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't catch yawns.
No, I don't catch yawns.
Huh. You're the one. You are now I feel like you're the red dragon on Wheel of Time.
Oh, look at you.
What?
Make me a nerd. That was a pretty nerdy reference.
I'm done. Mic drop.
So Brennan, Izzy, and Lou.
Yes.
So what did you think of your first sort of the performers of Dropout? These people have been with Dropout and remain doing stuff with Dropout. What did you think of them?
Well, first of all, are Brennan and Izzy a couple?
They were a couple then. They are now married and have had their first kid.
Muscle tough to them.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure it out because it seemed like it. And then I thought, is that just me being like, obviously they're straight and they're standing next to each other and they're attractive. But that's,
No, actually, the very first episode of Game Changer, they did an episode called Lie Detector. And so all the performers were on there, and Brennan was one of them. And whatever they said, this machine would say if they were lying or not. So Sam would ask them personal questions, and it would lie on. Well, what it turned out is all three of the people they were in relationships with were backstage supplying the answers.
Oh, okay.
So so Brennan and Izzy, that's where we first sort of met them. Is that like Brennan was a contestant, and then Izzy was backstage giving all this information about him and saying whether he was lying or not.
Gotcha.
So this is sort of like them now get to be on stage together.
Yes, I liked them all. I didn't flip for any of them. Okay. I didn't have that like, oh wow, genius. Yeah. But my favorite bit was. I can't remember how it was set up, but Sam said, pitch a storytelling device. I can't remember the setup.
Yes,
and Lou, Lou Wilson, visual effects. Oh, visual effects pitch. Yeah. He went very in depth on a Soderbergh thing where, okay, now the screen splits and I'm over here on the phone and the person over here is making the plan and then it splits again and then I just, and it was really fast and clever. And that made him my favorite.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was the least obvious choice. I don't even remember the other choices. I didn't write them down. I was blown away.
I can tell you the answer in one word, and that's buttholes.
Oh, right. See? Yeah. Obvious.
Yeah. Right. And then so Brennan, backed up his lady and also doubled down on it. I'm like, okay, cool. But then there's always this thing of the first person does something, the second person, then the third person gets a chance to listen to the first two and go, oh, okay. So he has a little bit more time to come up with that. And it was, I thought that was genius too. And then, of course, brought it back around.
Right. But I think, so you say buttholes, that might be a little jarring to people who have not seen this.
Yes.
So the visual effects, Izzy just said, there are buttholes everywhere.
Yeah.
Buttholes. Not that doesn't make me laugh. That's not funny to me. No. And then Brennan doubled down on it.
Yeah.
With, tons of buttholes. Mm-hmm. So in comparison to that, Lou seemed like a genius.
Yes. Yes, I say that's everybody has whatever the improv, what part of your brain, whatever activates and things like that is. I wish I could say this is the last time that buttholes show up on Game Changer, but when Izzy shows up, they also tend to show up.
Have you ever seen the Cat's Butthole trailer?
I have.
Yeah, that's about where my butthole threshold is, and I really like
the most in my life I've ever said the word butthole.
Oh, really? What was in your wedding vows?
I live a very sheltered life.
Yeah. Well, you brought up the COVID moment.
Yes.
I have to say this was triggering and made me not like Brennan.
Oh, okay.
I took COVID very seriously.
Oh, yes.
And I didn't like joking about it.
Yeah.
And so knowing this was still, they were not masked, the contestants, but the crew was masked. And what was the prompt that made him run around and cough?
Do something to make a producer nervous.
Yeah. There are just better answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when COVID was blazing, Casey went to summer camp and they had to wear their masks indoors and outdoors and stay distanced, but he still got to go to summer camp. And it was like such a blessing that he didn't have to sit home all day. And there was, I'm going to say it, Gavin fucking Green. I'm sure I've said his name on my podcast before. And Gavin Green would pull his mask down and cough in people's faces to be funny. And I had to call the camp. I was so scared of COVID. You know, I wasn't just being a tattletale, but
no, I saw another sci-fi show at Station 11, which might come up in a future episode for you. And the first episode is about a pandemic happening, like in real time. And I was like, oh, it's whatever, 5 years now, and I still was like, ooh, like I got so anxious watching it. I was like, oh, I still have trauma from that time of like, oh, it was too much. I had to like, oh, I can't. It's still too soon. So, yeah, I get you.
And there's a privilege to that. Like, it's funny if I run around and cough on people during COVID for a laugh. I got on paper why that would be funny. Yes, that would make producers nervous. But but
at that point they had already all been to get in there. They had all been tested, and so everyone they'd done the swabs and everything too. Right. So it was. But I get what you're coming from. Ugh. They did a whole season during COVID, like all from home. So there's a whole season of Game Changer where it's all done on Zoom in little boxes.
Yeah.
So too. And if they did their best, and they had some really creative ideas and fun ways to sort of, keep themselves together and sane too. But it's still hard to go back and watch those.
Yeah. But during the pandemic, I loved watching anybody who found a creative way to get online and entertain me in my kitchen. I was thrilled with.
So when you're in that frame of mind, you want to go back. They did some really creative and kind things. They did a whole series of like giving them presents, so that Sam shipped stuff to people's houses, and they would have to open it to see what it was, or they would have like try to come up with a costume of this character from whatever you have in your house, and so they would have to run around their house and get whatever they had to put on. So they did some fun stuff, and like all of us were just trying to do something to stay entertained. To
get by.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Sam.
Okay.
I was mixed after this episode.
Okay.
I thought he was a little self-satisfied.
Yes, that is sort of the character of the host. So like this is definitely a persona that he puts on.
Okay.
For Game Changer.
Good to know. What is he like in other stuff?
He is much more affable and like always the one to just give the spotlight to somebody else. Like he's a big believer in like letting people shine.
Okay.
So like this. But the Sam character,
right,
is much more of like a jigsaw, sort of like a mwahaha. Like like, oh, wait until I show. Let me just get these people in front of me, and then you have to do whatever I say.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you see it too, because I got used to it and it didn't bother me moving forward. But in this episode, I was like, he likes himself a lot. And it just was a little smug.
There's a whole part. I'll say I don't know if you're ever going to watch anymore, but there is at one point, the players actually, they were given money to do different activities, and they used some of the money to bring in a therapist to sit down with Sam during the episode and work on some of his power and control issues.
Okay.
So it does. It's a running
thing. It's not just okay.
Because Sam does come back. He comes back, and it gets more and more devious and cruel the more it comes back, because he sort of now that everybody knows, he expects more of it too.
Well, I think you curated these episodes well, because in the next one, he is like a child in awe.
Yes. So I wanted to show like a couple of different sides of it. So that is sort of one side of it. And then the second one is the other thing I was saying, which is that he absolutely loves these performers and just wants to let them shine.
Yeah.
And so that's what I wanted to show, that part of it too, of him being just a number one fanboy and just like bringing these people in to be like, let them do their thing.
Season 4, episode 5, called Original Cast Recording. And I wrote, gee, Kyle, why did you choose this one for me?
I'm actually going to talk about why I chose them towards the end, because that's another story in and of itself.
This one is a no-brainer because
you're a musical nerd.
They created a musical on the spot.
Yes, I know you're a fan of musicals. I know you're a fan of improv, and just watching that the two Jess and I forgot his name now.
Zach.
Yeah, there you go. Zach and Jess had a podcast for a long time called Off Book. Where they would do this. Essentially, they would bring on a guest and they would just make a musical right there with Scott Pastorelli, King of Pianists, Pianist of Kings, they would do a whole show. And then after that, after they'd done it for a long time, they were kind of like, oh, I don't know. So they were coming to the end of that. And that's when Sam went, hey, how about you do it on the show? Like, show people what it is that you can do. Yeah. And then from this, they got their own spinoff. And so they have their own show on Dropout where this is what they do. Oh. But this is like their unofficial audition for that. They didn't know. They just thought they were coming on to do the thing that they do. And from that, they got their own show.
Okay. What is their show called?
It's called Play It By Ear. And they've done a bunch of that. And then the same kind of thing of they have a Sam type as a different guy who throws stuff at them and they have to make up an entire musical based on the prompts that he gives them of like, okay, how about a song that gets faster and faster the longer it goes, or that it's in all the rhymes are in alphabetical order or whatever. And they have to incorporate that in. But yeah, they just came in to do their thing. And this Welcome to Mountport was born. It has become one of the biggest things that Dropout ever did because there's a soundtrack to it and people my daughter loves the songs.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's just the fact that they can do that off the top of their heads, to me, is just a magic trick.
Okay, well, so can I, and I'll tell you why. Several reasons. Here I go. I'm just going to brag. You can tune out, have a sip of your coffee. So I sing to my cats all day long, every day.
Okay.
Now, you got to have different rhymes and different lyrics, and you have to incorporate what's going on in the world. If one of them is looking out the window and they see a bird, that's a whole different song than one of them drinking in the toilet and being a bad boy, right? I mean, so I am highly skilled at musical improv. And I also got to do it on a TV show called World Cup Comedy, where I happened to be on a team with geniuses, Brian Bradley and Ryan Smith, and we were just, they were there on their own team. I'm sorry, I was on a team with Brian Jones and a different guy. But I competed against Wendy McClendon Covey, Kristen Wiig, Fred Willard. Like, it was a heavy-hitting improv comedy competition show. And my team went all the way. We did 2 seasons, and my team went all the way in both seasons. So part of that was doing musical improv. And
belated congratulations.
Thank you. This was
incredible.
20 years ago.
I had a high opinion of you, and now it has gone up even higher because I know improvers and stuff too, and I can't do it, but I can see sort of how they do it. Mm-hmm. But the musical thing to me is like, that seems to be like master level, doctorate level of improv.
And the guys on my team were masters of improv. Masters. And then I was like, I do improv too. I've taken all the classes, but I was not, am not a master of improv. But when they would say, okay, it's a musical challenge, my teammates would both be like, Mandy? And that was like my thing. So I'm done bragging. I won't say anything nice about myself after this. But
coming now in as sort of like someone who has done this, you can appreciate a different level. So what did you think of Zach and Jess?
I thought Zach and Jess were incredible, and I thought Zeke did his best to keep up, but he was not at the same level. Yeah,
and that's what you'll find with Play It By Ear as well.
They bring on other people who are like...
Yeah, not everyone is at the Zach, but honestly, like, I don't know who else is. Like, who else is at that?
Now, are they a couple?
Do what they do.
Zach and Jess?
No, they're just comedy partners. They found each other in an improv class. And we're like, oh, you can do that too? And then it just became almost like the party trick where they could just like throw to them and they would instantly have something. And they have, now they were actually on tour right now together. Oh. They just came to Phoenix. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to see them, but they're traveling around doing off book. They're making up musicals every night for for full rooms.
Yes, they are fantastic. And Sam, I said, now he has officially won my heart. He's so impressed and excited by what they're doing.
He's so genuinely blown away by everything that they do. Like, you could just see him like, I'm not going to try and make any more jokes. I'm just going to throw you the ball and just stand there as audience of one.
Ironical that you would say throw you the ball, because the story that they concocted out of thin air was that they were in a town called Mountport, and there's a new kid in town, and she wants to be a baseball player. And Jess had made this lyric. And when I hit that home run off my own pitch, and I was like, that's genius. She is a genius.
Yeah.
So.
And I have listened to that soundtrack too. Like, it holds together.
Yeah.
Even as like a complete story, you can go back and listen to those songs, even the ones that are almost falling apart as they're going along.
Right.
When he tries to do like introduce the town, like, oh, you say hi as we say hello, like that. You can see they're just barely holding it together, of keeping it together as a song. But
well, he's very good at part of me was like, hey, Zach, chill out. It's not your turn. It's not your song. But his gift is weaving in other, like, oh, we said this in the first song. I'll weave it in as a choral backup or a harmony over here. He's very good at it. But part of the time, especially when Zeke was singing, I was like, Zeke is barely hanging on, Zach. Just let him go. Just let him do his own thing.
Yeah, I know. Don't throw any other stuff in there. Just let him do the thing.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would enjoy that one, because that is one that we've watched you've watched multiple times. That's still, even though knowing how the trick is done, I still watch it and just am in awe of them. And
it took on a life of its own. That's so cool.
Yeah, there's merchandise. You can get Welcome to Mountport shirts on their site and stuff too. Oh yeah, it's a whole thing. It's like
so cool.
All the Gen Zs, they love it. Like, it's a whole thing.
You mean us?
Sure, yes, because we are young and hip, and we have the Riz.
Yes, we do. Low key, we have it. 6'7".
No cap.
Okay. However, I'm gonna now, because it's me and I'm critical.
Sure.
25 minutes in, I was amused and happy, but there were still a few minutes left, and I thought, I think these episodes could be a little shorter. I felt the same about Sam Says. Just give me 25 minutes, not 32.
Yeah.
Am I alone in that feeling?
Well, I think they do get longer as they go along, but I think they are learning it exactly, like not having to keep it to half an hour. They can go 35 minutes, they can go 45 minutes, they can go an hour if they want to. Like, but should you? So I think that there is still a learning curve because they eventually then they will start doing, like, here's bits we cut out, like stuff that was like funny enough but not quite enough for the episode. So they find a way to sort of use that and then keep the episodes.
There are other
tighter
episodes, right? There's like BTS stuff, and there's other. Right.
Yeah, they're even at the end of the season, they'll usually do like a compilation of bits that they cut out of the regular episodes that were like funny enough to show, like, because the joke landed or whatever, but not quite enough. They didn't make the final cut, but still worth showing.
Yeah, I guess in a way, I wish they would trim 3-4 more minutes out and put them in the extras. But
yeah, sometimes I feel like they like the performers start realizing this and they start calling back to stuff specifically so it can't get edited out. So it's like knowing that, like, oh yeah, this is I'm doing a callback. Well, now you have to keep in the original part because otherwise the callback won't make sense.
Right. It's so funny how I don't read my note, but I've already said what my note was about. Interesting and smart to have BTS episodes. Do you watch them? Do you like them? There's like a gift to super fans.
Yeah. I've always been a behind the scenes nerd. For Lucy watching the social media clips, I have still have a rack of DVDs behind me because that's where the bonus features are.
Right.
Like, you can stream a movie and you're done, but like, I want to know all of the what went into it. And so eventually they get to the point where they do an episode of Game Changer, and then the next week they do like a 15-minute episode about how they made that episode. Because they just get more and more complicated as it goes. And so I like to see all the thinking that went into it. Here's the things we didn't do. Here's the things we tried and didn't work. This idea started from here and it ended up there. that stuff is fascinating to me.
Is there a chance Andy Cohen is the architect for that? Because he makes a Housewives, and then he makes a Watch What Happens Live about the housewife, and then he does a behind the scenes unseen footage, and then he does other interviews. And it's, if you have an appetite for something, you just want more of it.
Right. Yeah. And it's as its own thing. Then it's like, okay, if you just want to watch the Sam Says 25 minutes and you're done, great. But if you like more, you can go find out a little bit more about what's going on. Then that's great. It's as opposed to having it all right there, filling the entire thing. So it's like, oh no, you can just go to the fridge and get more if you want to, but we're not putting it out for everyone.
It's generous. It's generous to their fans and watchers.
And I think it also helped to build up a little bit more of that. It's not just Sam and three people. Like you see all the people that aren't on screen that help to do it, because like it takes, I think Dropout is very small. Like I was sort of looking up to think they only employ about 40 people.
Oh, wow.
For the entire organization. Everyone else, all the people that are on stage are brought in as performers. Like they're hired for that episode.
But do you know if you're a member of the Dropout gang and it's like, hey, we can't have you in this one, but we could really use somebody to work backstage with quick changes, or
it's not that point. But they also are known in Hollywood as being very generous. Like there's a feature episode for the last season they just did called Crowd Control, where a comedian came on, and it's like the premise is basically like that. The audience all have things that they about themselves, and it gets riskier and riskier as the comedians go on, because they have to do just crowd work. They can't do their material, and there are like hot button topics in the audience, but they don't know what they are. But that guy he had been, one of the comedians had been a lead of a streaming series, and he got more for that one episode of thing that he did for the entire run of the streaming series that he was a part of.
Wow.
So Sam Reich is paying his performers. So this isn't like just come and do a fun thing for me.
Right.
Like he really is like trying to keep these people fed.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So all people are arguing you can't keep everyone on as like a feature player, like television wise, like, Parks and Rec, Amy Poehler, like she has to be in every episode contractually. So like they can't do that. But when they come in, they pay them the full rate for whatever episodes they're in, which I think is a really stand-up way to do this.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. And then the last one you chose, and maybe you could talk about why you chose these three, was season 6, episode 7, Beat the Buzzer.
Yeah. I said, so we've seen sort of the Sam Says, the sort of like the maniacal blah-ha-ha. We've seen Sam as like the fan. I wanted to show a little bit more of how complicated and weird that it can get, because it feels like they must have had, it was supposed to be stressful, but so much fun figuring out the ways. Like where you're talking about the SNL writers room. Imagine being in that conference room where they're coming up with, okay, what's the most ridiculous place we could put a buzzer?
Yes.
And so it's this huge elaborate game that it's almost like an escape room that the players don't know that they're in when they walk in. And then just them sitting back and going, right. And then they stand back and say, okay.
Yeah, they set it up really well with, here's the first trivia question, very easy trivia.
Yes.
And then they hit their buzzers and somebody answered. And then Sam said, I think your buzzer's not working. Now you guys have to use 2 buzzers. Now you have to use 1 buzzer. Now none of them are working. Now you have to find a buzzer around. And thus the madness ensues.
And then the madness begins. Yeah.
Yes.
They're literally running through the entire studio outside to wherever they can. They're hidden in safes. They're hidden in cakes. They're hidden in cauldrons. They're buzzers all over the place.
One of them is, the one outside is on a street. Yes. And somebody has a microphone and she's yelling at strangers passing by. Please just hit that buzzer. Please, ma'am, you walking your dog, hit the buzzer. And it takes a very long time for someone to stop and hit the buzzer.
Yeah.
But would you, if you heard a voice?
No, if you heard a voice saying run over and hit a buzzer, like, no, I don't think so.
I think the difference is that we're in Hollywood here, and wherever they're filming,
I think it's Silver Lake, so probably.
Yeah, people probably know, that's the they film in there.
Yeah.
So if you hear a voice booming out of a studio, You know you're part of a
just
TV
ignore it.
show.
Yeah. Especially because as wild as a Game Changer can get, people running around in costumes and all sorts of insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder where they do film. So these 3 contestants, from the moment they made their entrances, they were too much for me.
Okay.
I warmed up. The tireder they got, and the more into the game they got, the less pick me they got. And then I was like, okay, now I'm finding them funny. But these 3 women were all very like, waka, 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 I'm funny, look at me. And I wanted to say, just take a breath. You got it.
Yeah. They can be very intense about stuff too. But what I did like is the fact is that as it went along, they didn't get competitive with each other, because there are episodes that are very competitive. Yeah. And so they have, and this could have gone that way. And they figured out who the competitive people are and then put them together. So there are episodes that are intensely competitive where people want to win and want to beat the other people.
But there's no prize, right?
No.
Or it's a jokey prize.
It's usually a jokey prize. Yeah, at one point he was giving away stuff, and sometimes there are actual prizes, and so it becomes a thing of, do you keep your prize? Do you want to give it up? Like that is factored into the game. But by this point, just making the show is kind of the prize. Like there's not really like a it's not even like a fake points thing. There's not even like a thing that they give you. But what I liked about this is that even though they all were doing it, they all sort of settled into this thing of like, okay, one of us will win. And they weren't going after each other. So they were helping each other. They were sort of supporting each other through the whole thing, which I thought was a really nice vibe.
And what did you know about them? Like as they walked out, were you like, oh, I've seen each of these ladies before and I like them or I don't like them, or why do I want to punch Becca?
They made a joke at one point to talk about, oh, this is reunion of the 7, because one of the Dimension 20 tabletop role-playing things was the 7, and all of them were in it. Okay. And the ladies during the pot, and then Izzy, they took Isabella Rowland, from Sam Says, the whole thing of like scanning her picture. She was also in the 7. Like it was that. So it was that they had all worked together before, so we'd seen it before. Reka now has her own show that she hosts on Dropout called Smarty Pants. And Becca is hosting Parlor Room, which is another show on. So like once again, Sam finds the person he likes them and then puts them in a situation where he likes them. And then Eric Ishii is currently the star of PlayStation's Ghosts of Yotai. She is the voice and physical scan person for like one of their big releases for the end of 2025. She is a prominent voice actress, and it's like literally on the cover of this big, high-profile, multi-million-dollar game.
Very cool.
And still comes and does, wacky stuff. Yeah. On Game Changer.
Very cool. This one, how physical it was and that it took us away from the panel was really needed and cool to expand that world. And then they had... they ran into a room and it was a little library. I'm assuming the librarian was another one of the Dropout gang, right?
No, I think they sometimes just hire people.
Oh, okay.
They just hire people.
Oh, there. But then what about the witch in the cauldron?
Yeah, she is part of the sort of the extended Dropout family. But sometimes they just like hire actors to. I mean, the couple who was making out on the bed, I think they just hired a couple of day players to come in, hopefully as a couple.
We got to talk about that. So there's.
CollegeHumor, Dropout. I mean, like there is that sort of side of it.
So the whole thing is they're running around and they've planted dozens of buzzers. Yes. So the minute somebody hits a buzzer, the whole studio goes, and then they're like, oh crap, somebody beat me, and they have to go back and answer the trivia question. Yeah. So Becca, who I want to punch, goes and opens a dorm room. Yeah. And sees a couple making out on the bed, and over behind them is a buzzer. And she's like, oh, what do I do? And then she hears a buzzer and she leaves. And then she comes back because she knows there's a buzzer there. Mm-hmm. What would you do, Kyle?
I think I would sort of more move the bed rather than climbing into the bed with the people. That would sort of be my instinct of like, I wouldn't want to like physically lay with a stranger just to get a buzzer. But that was just my... my
That's
first thought.
adorable. I was like, Becca, jump on top of them and hit the buzzer. And she was trying to subtly like, hey guys, sorry, I don't mean to. I was like, I would climb right on top.
Well, see, this is why you have a better shot of being a contestant on it, and I have a better shot of being a writer for it.
Yes. Yeah. But I thought like, what? Come on, get on there.
Yeah. Like, don't be timid. Like, they're not being timid.
They're actors making out.
Right.
Yeah. But I wrote going on a bit too long. I love the concept, but it was like one or two too many rounds for me.
Okay.
And of the three, my last question, because it was all fantastic and fun and different. Thank you for choosing three very different ones.
Yes.
Which one would you want to play and which one do you think you would excel at?
Oh, I would think I'd be terrible at Sam Says. And I do not have the improver's brain. I can get good ideas and good jokes, but like I need time. Like, give me a day, I'll give you something great, but give me 5 minutes and you're going to get garbage. Like I need time. So I would say Beat the Buzzer is probably the best one because it involves so much of like, they couldn't possibly hide something in here, or like looking and seeing the logo for Gay Makia or whatever it was. That kind of stuff I thought would be super fun because it's that escape room mentality of.
Are you good at escape rooms?
I've done a couple and I've done pretty well.
Yeah.
It's sort of once if you can sort of get into the swing of it or the vibe of whatever they're going for. But it's not something I usually seek out, but if I'm invited, I will go. But that sort of thing of looking at something and then going, is this real? Or like, when at one point she was messing around with somebody's laptop and it turns out it was just a laptop. That kind of thing of like looking at something and going, is this part of it or is this... I thought was super fun.
My husband calls me Bam Bam because, if I'm like, oh, I can't get this open, I'll start slamming it. And so escape rooms, I love escape rooms. Love, 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 love. To me, it's like this high. It feels like a chemical high that you can't, not that I do drugs, but I assume that's what drugs feel like. Like it's euphoric when you switch something around and it opens and it's like, there's a key inside and I love it, but I'm not very good at it because I do get like, I don't know the combination I want in the box. Maybe I should just step on the box or throw it against the wall and see if it cracks open. I'm Bam Bam. So I would not have done well at Beat the Buzzer when Reika, is that her name?
Well,
she sees a buzzer high up on the ceiling and has to throw tennis balls at. Oh my God, no! I would have been like,
me too. When she came back and said like, "Oh, my arm," I was like, "Yeah, I'd been the same way." Of like, after like 4 or 5, I think I'm just going to find another buzzer. Like, let somebody else throw something against the wall.
So, in escape rooms, I mean, this is terrible. But I'm always like, should we ask for help? Should we just, can we get a clue? Can we ask for help?
We got 3 lifelines, right? We can just like use one.
And Jer is always like, no, not yet. Let's see if we can, put some of these pieces together. But when I have some luck at them. I can be good at them. And when I do, oh my God, I'm elated.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That's what you would get with this when somebody has that revelation or has that moment. You really can feel the excitement and you're sort of into that's the one. This is a family favorite. This is Denise. This is her favorite show on Dropout. Every episode that comes out, we watch. She the only thing that gets her annoyed is when they bring something back because she's like, the premise of the show is that the game changes every time. And so they sometimes do what are called game samers, where they'll bring back a game and do a variation of it.
Sure. And
that's always annoying to her. She's like, that's not what the show is.
But if it was a great game and they have a new spin on it or whatever,
Yeah, if it works, and now they've gotten, rather than doing that, they're now taking the ideas that work really well and making their own shows out of them.
Yeah.
So like one of the early episodes is basically like these almost like doing sound effects, but then do almost like micro scenes of improv, and that became so popular it spun off into its own show as well. So they don't have to worry about sort of bringing that back, even though it was popular. It can kind of have its own life.
God, milk it. Go Dropout. I'm so thrilled to know about this and to know about them. And is there anything else that we need to know or any other? If I go back and revisit, what are other? Will you text me other episodes that you're like,
absolutely,
don't
yeah.
miss this one?
So here's what was for me doing this episode. I'm always looking forward to talking to you because these are always fun, and I was. As soon as I talked about this, I was like, oh, I know at least one of these she's gonna love, like she's gonna like go, and because I know you like games, and this
I love
is,
games.
That's the whole thing is every episode is a different one. So they have that run the gambit. So like you'll have some of these ones that are more fun. There's one that they do that there's a group called the Improvise Shakespeare Company, and they do the whole thing like Shakespeare, but he makes them improv. So he gives them a scene, and they have to do it as a Shakespearean drama. Yeah. So that's, but they also do their own version of Survivor. And they do their own version of Big Brother. So like they do those. So there are ones that are more competitive.
Yeah.
But what was so doing this show right now is the icing. The cake was this is one of my daughter's favorite shows.
Right.
So as you know, one of the strange fun things about being a parent is that you are showing your kid things all the time. Like, I love this movie. Let's watch it together. Let's, I think you'll like this one, or you did, or you didn't. But then when they get to a certain age, they start saying, hey, I saw a thing and I bet you would like it. And they show it to you.
She brought this to you?
So my daughter, she brought me to Game Changer. She's like, I think you would really like this. And she introduced it. And so when I said, I'm going to be on Make Me a Nerd again, I want to talk about Game Changer, we got to have this incredible conversation where we looked at every single episode and sat down and like had our own little elimination thing of like, well, that's good, but I don't know if Mandy would like that one. This one's good, but it requires you to know this guy from this thing and she doesn't. So let's, and
that
so we
is the cake.
It was fantastic. And so we got down to like exactly what it was. And then so that we came down to those three. But they started out from all these different ones we could do. But yeah, it was a great thing because she's the one. So, I shout out to Zoe because she's the one who introduced me to the whole Dropout world.
But what I'm hearing is essentially I make your family better.
Yeah.
That's what it
comes down to. Yeah. Make Me a Nerd has saved my family. You can clip that right there.
Yes. That's a drop. You are so wonderful.
It's been, so we love, that Dropout is the fastest resubscribe I can do. Like every year, I'm happy to like, oh yes, like I want to make sure that never drop. I've canceled all every service, but like I have been a Dropout since day one. Since I learned about it, I was like, that was one of Zoe's birthday presents. One of the years was like, we're getting a subscription, and that subscription has never lapsed. Because they're always doing something else. That's the other fun thing too. Is even if Game Changer is now like currently as we're recording is now they've completed their season, but they will be back. So they do they're getting more and more elaborate, so it could take longer to do. But there will be like another show, like 6 or 8 episodes, and then another one and another. So there's always something new coming down the line, and it's usually the same people. It's different variations of the thing, so you get to see your favorites show up again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's great.
So Dropout TV. I wish we were getting paid by them, but but honestly, give me your money. It's super cheap. Like in terms of all the streaming services out there, the amount of amazing content you get for the price you pay, it's like honestly, it's like one of those like the best bargain on the internet or whatever too. But they're good people doing good stuff, and I couldn't recommend them highly enough.
Well, thank you for introducing me and all the listeners to them.
Dropout TV. I don't have a promo code or anything.
Right.
But check them out. Yeah, and they're on and they have apps on all the things. So wherever you are, you can find them. You can watch it on your Xbox or on your Apple TV or Roku or wherever.
Okay, well, you're doing their business. I'm going to do my business, and then you're going to do your business.
All right, let's do some business.
Agreed? Make Me a Nerd is a production of True Story FM, engineering by the peerless Pete Wright. My theme song is Wonderstruck by Jane and the Boy. You can reach me on Instagram at Mandy_Kaplan_Clavens, both with Ks, or on TikTok at Mandy Miscast. And if you're feeling supportive, please, if you're on Apple, leave a 5-star review, write a review, click write a review, leave your comments, your thoughts, your ideas, and share what you're feeling with me. I would be grateful. If you're feeling extra supportive, please go to makemeanerd.com/join. Hitting that button will get you your episodes ad-free and early, and all of my eternal gratitude. Kyle, where can everybody find you and all of your content?
my audio drama series is called the Swashbuckling Ladies Debate Society. Mandy has not only been on it, but she has sung for me.
Ooh.
I've written exactly one song, and Mandy has sung that song. So
Yes,
it's
she
100%
did.
hit rate for me. Those are all available. You can find them in podcatcher of choice. The newer project we're doing is with the aforementioned podcast impresario, Mr. Pete Wright. We have a show called Craft and Chaos, where the two of us, along with Missy Stinnett and Ryan Dalton, we are basically asking the question, how do you make art when it feels like the world is on fire? So we're talking about inspiration and advice and what's keeping us going, what's keeping us through, supporting each other, and it also gets extremely silly. So we have the first season of that has just wrapped, our first 10 episodes, and so they're available right now. They're full of inspiration and joy and fun and creative people. So if in whatever kind of art you're making, you're welcome at the party. It's been a real blast doing those episodes. So I'm looking forward to doing more. And I hope that fun and fire spreads out to the people who listen. So Craft and Chaos.
Excellent, wherever you get your podcasts.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Kyle Olson. It's always a joy getting to catch up with you.
I'm so pleased that I got to be on, and did pretty good. Like I think you liked at least a couple of these episodes.
I really liked Game Changer. It was a lot of fun. How could you not?
Right? Yeah, it's a blast.
All right.
Not as much as this show, but what can?
Correct. Thank you all for listening. Until next time.